Morning, everybody. Welcome to LOCPod, Indiana's most dangerous podcast.
Woo, we got to wake up.
Yeah, man. We're all like dragging.
And we got we got Mayor Joe Hogsett coming in. We got to wake up.
Big show, very big show. Yes. We got Mayor Joe Hogsett.
Two mayors in the house.
One of the major mayors in the United States is going to be in LOCPod studio this morning.
Right here in LOCPod studio.
Extra pressure because he's a fan of the show.
Exactly. We have to bring our A game.
Like he's going to ask us questions.
I feel like we're on our D game right now.
I am. I took 2 of my morning pills this morning instead of the normal one because I'm dragging ass.
Well, you're also just a little bit back from vacation.
Yeah. Sorry about missing the show Tuesday.
No worries.
It was nice. Marissa and I had a little trip planned because I planned this a long time ago thinking I was going to be contested in the primary and I'd probably be looking for a break. So after the election, her and I escaped to New Orleans for 4 days and so happened.
First time there?
It was my first time there, but the Dead and Company's first tour stop happened to be Jazz Fest.
What a coincidence.
I happened to be there.
What an absolute coincidence.
Yeah, it was cool, though. They played Dead was cool because, for you guys aren't Dead fans outside of Kevin. Like, when you go to a Dead show, they play their normal shows, which are, like, deep cuts and, like, this was not like one of those shows.
When you were texting me the set list, I was like, "That's impossible."
It was like they were playing it for a bunch of non-Dead fans, so they were trying to impress them. And I know the kind of shows they put together, as do you. Mm-hmm. They literally played all their hits.
Wow,
because they were trying to impress everybody.
Yeah, or just like keep people keep people entertained,
right? Because their songs are still 10, 12 minutes long.
Well, like you said, like on one end of Jazz Fest was the Lumineers, and the other end was Dead and Company. That's crazy.
At the same time, Jazz Fest is cool. And then Marissa and I, so we watched the Dead. It was freaking muddy, rainy, shitty weather.
I think I have a picture of this.
Yeah, dude. I was wearing. Yeah, that's it. There we go.
Tom's in the waterproof stuff. Marissa is not.
So look at the Marissa had water.
That tells you something.
It was Marissa had waterproof stuff with her.
Okay,
but look at the ground. Look at the ground.
That's
that's pavement. Now we had to go onto a horse track. Okay. Yeah.
You got to be a mudder.
So so we were in mud. I bought shoes specifically for the show, like crappy high top shoes, brand new, and they were covered in mud when I got done. I gave them to one of the dudes living on Bourbon Street.
Nice.
At the end of the trip.
They didn't go to waste.
I cleaned them up really nice, and I told them they were worn one time.
By the way, some muddy shoes.
No, I cleaned them up really nice. I was being super nice. It was the last day, and I'm like, I was barely had enough room to get home, and I'm like, I'm not taking these shitty high tops. No. So I cleaned them off really nice the night before, and they were clean.
And there was one dude out there. They were nice high tops.
I go, what size shoes you wear? He goes, like 10. I go, I got 10 and a half. They've been worn one time. Would you wear them? He goes, yeah, I'd wear those. So I just tossed them down.
There you go.
Yeah, it was
Didn't
nice.
go to waste.
I felt good.
Didn't go to waste.
That's an excellent travel hack too. We do that too when we go overseas.
What's that?
If you're bringing 2 pairs of shoes, you leave the shitty one there that you're probably not gonna use again, and then you have more space in your luggage.
Yeah,
for
good call, right?
Stuff.
I did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But so that was my room.
Jill.
So I'm on the second floor of Bourbon Street. We had a patio, and I was just like,
what time is that like?
That's, I don't know, probably 8 o'clock at night. And that's on I don't remember what night that was.
Hard to drive that car
Kevin,
through there.
That was not Friday night or Saturday night. Friday and Saturdays, all people, okay? That was on a Sunday or a Monday.
This is not that busy is what you're saying.
That is totally lame. On a Sunday night, it was jam-packed like it was Friday.
So, is the Gulf close to there? Is it
No, not really.
It's
Mississippi,
it's
Mississippi River first. It's
Mississippi River.
It's super confusing, man. I could not, and I'm really good with my sense of direction. I could not get my direction straight when I was there. I literally, one day I went run into the river and ended up going 2.5 miles before I finally turned around, figuring I was heading the exact wrong way.
So it's Bourbon Street part of the French Quarter or near the French Quarter? It is, yes.
Yeah, it's really cool. Really nice area. It was, that was me playing a dude.
Oh,
$20 to play chess on Bourbon Street. So.
You look very intense here in this shot.
With
but
dudes.
What's going to be my next move?
I was playing for $20, and if I won, I got my money back.
How do I have a feeling that
I did not get my money back?
This reminds me of 3-card Monty on the L.
Plus, I'm used to playing on. It's weird because that's his home turf.
Oh, yeah.
He's used to looking at that board.
He has a chair. You don't get one.
He has a chair. I don't, which is bullshit. I had a weird perspective. He's sitting right on top of with his normal view. I'm walking in like a tourist. I played pretty well, and then I lost.
Did he give you a choice of color, or did he's like, I'm black, you're white?
No, I just walked right into white. But white's advantage because you can move first. So
all right, and
I lost.
How quickly?
No, it wasn't quick. I lost. I did a dumb move, but I wasn't used to looking at the board, and I did.
You got your $20 worth.
No, I mean I did fine. He shook my hand. He didn't curse
a local entrepreneur.
Yeah,
I see some of the tourists are watching the game in the background too.
That was like a Sunday afternoon. That's how crowded it was.
Is this also Bourbon Street?
Yeah, that's Bourbon Street. Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, really fun.
Well, good. And
check this out. I saw the Dead. Yeah. So Marissa and I are there Sunday night, Jill, and the news is queuing up the day before they're queuing up this thing. They have real railroad problems out there, and the railroads are stopped. And what are we going to do about this?
Is this like the local
news?
Yeah, it's New Orleans, like
ABC
Fox
or something.
It's like
right?
New Orleans Fox.
Gotcha.
It's like all the local reporters and all
Sure.
that, right? So I was like, wow, they got the same problems we do. So coincidentally, the next day, Marissa and I are flipping through, and then I was like, oh crap, this is that news article that they were talking about yesterday. So we watch it, and then they throw me up on the screen. And then they throw the community meeting, and they have me
Mayor
saying,
McDermott's in New Orleans.
dude,
That's crazy.
You have a tracker again?
it was so crazy, Joe. It was like a Sunday night feature segment for like 6 minutes,
and Mayor McDermott and Hammond in the news.
all about Hammond, Indiana. And by the way, there's a Hammond, Louisiana, literally a stone's throw away. Right? That's a major metropolitan area. It's Hammond, Louisiana, right there. They were talking about Hammond, Indiana, for like on a Sunday night news broadcast local New Orleans station for like 6 minutes.
With you on a video clip.
Like long clips of me talking about Hammond, talking about Norfolk Southern.
Maybe they wanted to welcome you. Maybe New Orleans is like, you know what? Mayor
Dude, it
McDermott's
was
in
so
town.
crazy.
We need to welcome him.
Marissa's like, you are famous. It's like, you're on the news in New Orleans, and we're in New Orleans,
Right.
coincidentally.
It'd be great if you walked out of the hotel. I just saw you on the news. You're the mayor of Hammond.
That did not happen. That's never happened.
That's pretty cool, by the way.
That's happened a couple times when I travel.
I've been with you when it's happened.
Well, like in airports, it happens.
Yes.
Like if we're flying home, that doesn't count. It's like a bunch of local people going to the
True.
same place. You may be in Las Vegas, but you're all like at one little cubby
heading to
the same place, so it doesn't count.
Right, fair enough.
Right.
Well, good. Welcome back, and
Thanks.
that sounds like a great trip.
It was a great trip.
What'd you think? Like, what's your overall? You've never been,
No.
so what'd you?
You know what's weird, John? Like some days I'd be walking around going, "This place fucking sucks." Like I would be like, "I can't believe this is," and then other days I'd walk around and I'd be like, "This place is amazing." So like this is how I describe it.
It's a mixed bag.
It's like you could go to a Ruth's Chris, nicest restaurant in town, have a great meal, like blow your mind. It's tasty, perfect. You could walk out of Ruth's Chris and see a dude pissing right on the side of Ruth's Chris. That's New Orleans to me, okay?
Sounds like fun.
It's like it's amazing, but it's gross also.
Yeah,
It's like, is that fair,
it's the
John?
perfect summation.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like
Gritty.
It is like as gritty as it comes. It's like the region. By the way, I was super comfortable personally. Super diverse, like super like blue collar. So I did not feel uncomfortable at all in that regard. I felt like I was home. But it was pretty trippy, man.
I was involved in I got caught up in a racket when I was down there. I
Ooh,
don't think
a
I'm gonna go.
racket?
Yeah, I don't think
I
I'm
can
gonna
see
go
that.
back.
I thought you almost said riot, and I was
no,
like,
there's
a
tourist
racket.
rackets, man. So
Really?
you guys know Cafe Du Monde. Did you go,
Yeah.
Tom?
No.
Okay. So I drop my family off there. I park in a public lot. I pay.
I remember.
You remember this?
Yes, because I.
Okay.
I pay for a couple hours. I
Right.
go and meet them at Cafe Du Monde. We have these amazing beignets, and I get a text to extend my time. I extend my time, and I go and get the car when we're done, and there's a boot on it, and I'm going, oh my god, we got to get on a cruise the next morning.
Oh no.
boy.
And it says call this number. The guy's circling the lot, the boot guy. And he comes over. I'm showing him my phone. I'm like, dude, I extended my time. What kind of racket is this? He wants you to pay like $100 and like
Right.
take it up with management later. Dude, I was so pissed.
We wrote a letter when you got back.
Just on the principle of this alone. Yeah, dude, we mailed it to like the mayor of New Orleans, the council people at large. Like, and I'm not kidding you. Next thing you know, the company, the parking lot company, sends me a huge gift basket from Cafe Du Monde.
Really?
Like they wanted me to just be quiet. They refunded the money. They were
Nice.
like, "I'm so sorry."
What's the name of the company?
I don't remember.
You discovered our racket.
You
Yes.
freaking bought in. Now all these other people
I
are
think
getting
it was
scammed.
I think it was the lawyer's letter.
You could have plucked it into. Oh, it was you, huh? You got involved. Hey, look at you,
I
man.
think you
Bringing in
helped.
the high-powered attorneys.
Yeah, I was so pissed. But I think that might have been it for me in New Orleans. I've been a few times, and Tom, you're exactly right. It's cool.
Gritty.
The French Quarter stuff's cool, but man, is it
Gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about this? So I'm on Bourbon Street. It's loud as hell every night. Like I'm telling you, 3 a.m, you're like somebody's screaming "Ah!" outside your window, and you're just like, it's Bourbon Street. Okay, I didn't have to stay where I stayed. We stayed there on purpose. I wanted to experience it, right? So And I was sleeping through most of it, and I would still get up at 6:30 in the morning. My normal 6. I'm up earlier than anybody. Marissa and I both. We kept our schedules pretty set. So the last night we're there, we have to wake up and catch a plane, and it's pretty loud. Actually, it was Monday night. It was loud, like a big party. And then I'm sleeping, and then at 2 in the morning, somebody starts playing a trumpet. And I'm like,
jazzy trumpet.
Right outside of my window, dude. Perfect. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I can sleep through a lot, man. I was in the Navy, dude. I cannot sleep through a trumpet concert, right?
Wow.
He went on for like 45 minutes.
Well, I mean,
and I'm like, Marissa, did you hear the trumpet concert?
Jazz, man.
She's like, she has her earplugs in. She's like, no, I didn't hear the trumpet concert. I'm like, well, I did.
It was a racket. The guy wanted you to tip him to be quiet.
Probably.
He's going to put a boot on your hotel door.
I was not into trumpet concerts. Hey, I did have one.
Welcome back.
Sorry, Jill. Did you have something?
No, I was just going to say, how humid was it down there?
Constant. It was not. It was always like 78, and you were thinking, would that be cold? No, it was like July, August. Like the heat
humidity
we have here.
Whoa.
That's
I wonder what it's like when it's 90 there.
Yeah. No, you were wearing it. You were like sweating like the whole time. I didn't have to wear pants, put it that way. I was like,
but you did wear pants.
Pants?
I didn't. I was in shorts the whole time. Shorts, no socks, kind of
short
Vacation.
pants.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, and then one thing.
Yes.
So like the last day, I get a letter, an email, and I want to address it real quick here about a situation I messed up and unintentionally when I was on WJOB the day before I left. I was asked a question about a murder that took place in Hammond, and the last information I was given from the Hammond Police Department about this, it was a shooting on 165th, and it was brazen. It was in a broad daylight.
Like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
And when it first went down, the police department reported to me that it was a hit. It was an execution, basically. Like one car pulled up. It was a box truck. They pulled up alongside and just started firing on the BMW. So that's all I heard. The last I heard. So I go on WJOB the next day. Little do I realize that the investigation started off that direction and it took a turn and it went in another direction, and we found out that shooting was actually road rage. Okay. I didn't get the memo about the change in directions that the investigation took. So I go on WJOB, not expecting to talk about what happened the day before, but it's wide open. So I get asked a question, hey, there was a shooting on 65th last night. I said, yeah, it was an execution, basically. It was a planned hit. It's brazen, broad daylight. We don't get that kind of stuff. And I said that, and then we move on. I'm on WJOB for a number of reasons. I'm getting asked a number of questions. People are calling in. And then I'm going on vacation. And while I'm on vacation, the father of the young man that was murdered, Rajesh Sr., emails me, and he's devastated that people are drawing the wrong conclusions because of something I said on WJOB. And quite frankly, Rajesh, the victim that I went to his funeral yesterday, Rajesh was an innocent victim of a road rage, and he was murdered by this box truck. We caught the box truck. Idiot, moron driving the box truck, thinks he's going to get away. He's got a cell phone on in broad daylight in Hammond, where we have more density of LPR cameras than any city in the Midwest, probably. You're not going to get away in Hammond.
In a box truck.
In a box truck with a company like Joe's Plumbing on the side.
How about being a moron shooting someone in broad daylight for road rage? There's
terrible,
number one.
Terrible.
Yeah.
So anyway, I sat there on my last day and I typed out the longest email I've sent in a long time. I sent it to the family and I apologized deeply. And then they came back to me and said, would you retract your statement? I said, absolutely. So I went on the retraction tour, and I didn't go on WJOB, but I dropped it on Facebook. I attended the funeral. I think we did a good job because all the media picked up on my retraction and printed it. So I think that I reversed course, but it reminded me about how being a mayor, people listen to every word that comes out of my mouth, and sometimes, I don't put enough thought into it. But it wasn't my fault in this because I did get briefed that way, and it did take a change in direction. But it was devastating for the family, for people to think that Rajesh was somehow at fault. He was not.
A couple of things
I wanted to say that very clearly on the show. So anyway.
Yeah, I thought a couple things, like you said, Mayor. It's just it really is a interesting reminder about how people listen to what you say,
every word.
Yeah, and sometimes it has these consequences you have no idea that you didn't intend them, and the next thing you know, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even right.
It was something, honestly, for me. It was just like I was asked, I responded, but I was briefed, and I wasn't even like thinking much about it. I was just like, oh yeah, that was a. Well, I didn't know it was road rage at that time. I was like, that was an execution. Like they literally pulled up and executed the guy, which is, by the way, still, even the road rage, that's what happened. One guy had a gun, the other guy didn't. Rajesh was sitting there in a driver's seat, like with defensive wounds, quite frankly. Like when you're about to get shot, your natural instinct is to put your hands up.
Yeah, it's just a terrible tragedy.
Defensive wounds.
I thought your retraction was great. Also, I thought it was interesting to learn about, this young man who was just going about his day.
Yep.
And what a really, he was an accomplished kid. I mean, he was very active. He was a mechanic.
I had an interaction with him about a week before he died, too.
No kidding.
I didn't realize it until his father pointed it out. I had an interaction with him where he works, and it really hit home for me, and I apologize again to the family. I went to their funeral yesterday. I apologized in face, so I did everything I could to try to, I dishonored the victim unintentionally, and I think I did everything I could to try to reverse the damage that I did. So, and I'm doing it on LOCPod now too. So I felt horrible, and that was the last day of my vacation. I was reversing course for a mistake I made. Marissa didn't even ask me what was wrong. She just knew. I was sitting there quiet typing for 2 hours straight. So,
well, all right. I mean, sad note. We're going to do some ads. We're going to come back. Actually, we've got a really good and exciting Lil Wayne announcement.
So we're going to make a Lil Wayne announcement
and then
when we get back.
Mayor Joe.
And then Mayor Hogsett's going to be in the studio shortly after 8 o'clock. But we did want to talk. Kevin and I went on the road this week.
Oh, yeah, real quick.
John?
Mm-hmm.
Banjo. I can drive this time because I was on the road with you.
It wasn't that long.
You're right. It was in the same county. Crown Point.
So we're going to be coming back talking about Lil Wayne after these ads, but Kevin and I first got to talk about. We took LOCPod on the road, sort of.
Yeah, we did. We've given this talk before to some lawyers out in California and Napa, and then we got asked recently by Kyle Lawrence and LCBA, which is Lake County Bar Association. Deb White, thank you for all of them, their hospitality. And we put on our CLE, which is
legal continuing legal
thank you.
education.
I'm using acronyms and just throwing them out
right.
there.
Kevin and I we put on a 1 hour presentation, and we got 4 hours for putting it on,
which is nice.
Huge
you get speaker credit, which is
because we need to get over 3 years.
36 hours in 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but anyway, it's kind of like a little synopsis, and it's kind of cool because I think people really enjoy hearing from Tom, who's not only a mayor but a lawyer, about. I mean, you get sued all the time, or you're having these lawsuits, and they're very interesting. A lot of times, it's constitutional questions, which a lot of lawyers don't usually, get because you're not practicing in that area. And he, I try to give the boring legal part of it, and then Tom gives the cool, this is what it's like to be mayor in these situations part of it. So,
yeah, Kevin and I, we played our LOCPod roles basically.
Yeah, it was fun.
Kevin would be like
the
lawyer, reading off the facts, and I'd be chiming in I called Kevin my work wife, and that was disrespectful. It's work husband. I didn't mean to say work wife.
I take either. I accept either. I'm okay.
I felt horrible. You're not supposed to say
did?
that. It was a professional setting.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even
I wasn't even trying to be funny. I was just I
didn't notice.
I felt bad.
I was not offended. You don't need to retract that.
There's another one, dude. I've been pissing people off.
No offense taken.
We're in a CLE. Everybody's got a suit on and all that, and I called Kevin my work wife. And I was
but we also made some strip club jokes. I mean,
yeah.
So,
what?
We were talking.
Well, there was a case involving.
Yeah.
It was
right. And the thing is, they were playing politics to try to shut the strip club down, and so they were saying there must be a 10-foot buffer between a dancer.
I was these are some bad regulations if you're a strip club consumer.
Yeah, if you're it's anti-consumer.
10-foot buffer, highlighting.
So when we come back, we're going to talk about the Lil Wayne concert. We're going to talk about the next section of ticket sales that we're going to start selling soon.
All right, Jill, lead us off.
So when we come back, we're going to be doing Lil Wayne. So if you're interested, make sure you share.
And then Mayor Joe Hogsett from Indy will be in the house, in the studio after 8 o'clock.
Share the stream.
Stay tuned. And
Mayor Joe just came off of a big primary victory.
We're going to talk all about it.
He's got a big election coming up in November. So, all right, let's go.
Jill.
The Bug Guy Pest Control. Warmer weathers mean unwanted guests such as ants, spiders, wasps, mosquitoes, and more shut down their party before they get started. A comprehensive pest plan from the Bug Guy will help you enjoy the great outdoors as well as the indoors all summer long. To solve your pest problem or start a preventative plan, call the Bug Guy today and tell the pest he's on the way. Call Brian at 219-810-7481.
Calumet Brewing. Whether you're on the golf course or just spending a day in the sun, Michelob Ultra with only 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and 4.2% ABV is the perfect beer for a summer day. Michelob Ultra brews a light lager that's worth every single sip. So no matter if you're kicking back after the long workout, a pickup game at the park, or a day out on the fairways, you're sure to enjoy this great light beer. Don't drink it, enjoy it. Head over to Cal Brew. I should say, don't just drink it, enjoy it. Head over to Cal Brew on Facebook and find the golf bag post for your chance to win through May 12th. That's today. So go check out Cal Brew on Facebook to make sure you're trying to get your golf bag, free golf bag, today for your chance to win. You can also head over to Michelob Ultra websites and social media pages for details on this great family of beers. Enjoy the Ultra lifestyle with beers and cheers responsibly.
Hey, I was listening to the show the other day. You guys did great, by the way. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I heard it while I was working out yesterday.
We talked about Lindsay's pants.
Yeah. Powering America. Are you looking for a new career in 20? I like how 4-8 does commercials.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, hey,
well, wait a minute. It's just 4-8.
I know. He's just like,
that is exactly the 4-8 zone.
I'm
not going to read the script.
Right. He's like, Powering America, like
electricity, man.
You're looking for a job. It's 2023. You need a job. A lot of people don't work. If you, the thing about being an electrician with Powering America is it's a competitive wage, and you get great hands-on experience.
And then it's 10 minutes later.
You become an electrician, and by the way, they also have amazing employee benefits with health insurance, pension, annuity, the whole thing. Annuities are worth a lot, by the way. It'd be like somebody handing you money. So if you're interested in all these great things, become an electrician with these great benefits, annuities, all that crap, call Powering America. Or you can visit JACT697.org. That's JACT697.org. Sponsoring by Powering America.
Best Dr. Fluoride I've heard in a while.
That's Dr. Fluoride all day, right?
The Fluoride Zone. We need some audio for that, John.
Yeah, right.
Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and outside patio. I have frequented this place twice in the last week. Can confirm.
Whoa.
Patio weather.
All right.
It is patio weather.
Delicious.
Patio is open and delicious.
And now they have tequila drinks.
What?
And mixed drinks, yeah.
Yes, 3-way license now.
Anyway, their brewing equipment offers a unique backdrop for your private event like weddings, reunions, or corporate parties. Byway's conveniently located just off 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Come on by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu. For more information, check out bywaybrewing.beer.
Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? Give them a call today and schedule your consultation with someone who's in court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW. That's 219-554-4LAW, or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife, Kristen, make a great team and are waiting to hear from you. Call Cantrell and Cantrell. Thank you to our sponsors.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the Lil Wayne concert. First off, Lil Wayne concert is 13, 14, the 15th of July. Saturday, July 15th. Lil Wayne concert.
Huge.
Now, during the Festival of Lakes, we're used to everything being a free show. Lil Wayne, not a free show.
But every other day
is free. Okay? But so we're talking about just Lil Wayne concert Saturday during the Festival of Lakes. We have the gold section that we placed on sale when we first announced the show. We put the price at $125 a ticket, which is ridiculously cheap for a Lil Wayne show. To give you a perspective, he just played Chicago, and all tickets were above $200. So we're less than half price, and $125 will get you right on the stage if you want to fight your way up there.
It'll be in the gold section, the front part. Also, the gold section is cool because it has gold section only bathrooms, gold section only bars. You can go around to the back of the stage and hang out there if you want to get away from the crowd in the front of the stage. So there is great access in the gold section. And by the way, thousands of gold section tickets have been sold.
Thousands.
And at some point, they are going to run out. So buy your gold section tickets now if you want to get in that area.
So when we normally have a fest show, it's like open invitation to everybody who wants to come. So like the night before with Stone Temple Pilots, it's an open invitation. Mm-hmm. We could have 50,000 people show up. We probably won't because we're used to which band will draw about how many people, okay? Lil Wayne,
you can walk in.
If we did an open invitation for Lil Wayne, we would have so many people that it would be dangerous. So what we need to do is limit the crowd, and that's what we're doing. Okay, there's going to be. We've been using the number 15,000. Let's just assume that's the number we're running with. Maybe it's up 1,000 or 2 above that. Maybe it's 17,000, but that's going to be it. So what happens is once everybody buys their tickets, and we're going to give away 2,000 free ones, and we're going to announce that in a second. Once we hit the magic number, 17,000. 15,000, that's it. Then it's up to the secondary market. I heard somebody say to me, you're going to give those free tickets to Hammond residents and they're just going to scalp them. Mm-hmm. I don't care. I don't care. Scalp away.
It's theirs.
We're going to give you 2 tickets. If you want to sell them for $1,000 each, God bless you. You can knock yourself out.
Thank you for being a Hammond resident.
That's
Amen.
right. That's right.
More power to you.
So,
Sounds like Amy. Don't forget, get in line.
Oh, dude.
oh, yeah, dude. You'd be crazy not to. Even if you don't like Lil Wayne, get your tickets. Flip them. Make some money.
There you go.
Okay? So we're here to talk about, first off, general admission tickets are going on sale.
Right now. They're up.
How much are the tickets for general admission?
$60.
Which is stupidly cheap. This is going to sell out. That's what we're intending to sell this out. There's going to be 17,000. Let's just say that's the number with sponsors and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Once we hit that number, it's over. Like there's no more ticket sales from the primary source. It's all going to be on the secondary market.
You cannot get into the concert grounds. You cannot get into the festival grounds without a ticket that night.
What
So
if I
do
say
not show
I want to
up.
go on the merry-go-round, and then what happens is when I get off the merry-go-round, I'm going to sneak into the concert.
Cannot happen. It is going to be closed to anybody that does not have a
You
ticket.
can't even go on the merry-go-round if
That'd
you
be
don't
the
have a
most
ticket.
You can if you have a
expensive
ticket.
merry-go-round ride ever.
That's right.
right.
But like you
$60.
can't. But the bottom line is though, Jill, you can't get onto the merry-go-round without at least the general admission ticket to the show.
But you can go to the carnival if you have a ticket. But you cannot get into the grounds without a ticket, if that makes sense. And by the way, don't come pay $30 to park without a ticket because you're just going to be out $30.
And we're not giving the $30 back because
No.
it's going to be clearly signed that this is sold out.
And-
This will be sold out show. This will be locked up, sold out. We're telling you right now, if you're going to wait until the last second to buy your ticket, you're making a humongous mistake. Okay? So GA's gone on sale today for $60 plus
Right.
fees and all that. It'll probably be like
Sure.
75-ish
Somewhere
at the
around
end of
there.
the day, right? What about the 2,000 tickets that we're giving away to Hammond residents?
Right.
For free?
So the general admission tickets for Hammond residents are going to be given away on June 24th at 9 a.m. Location to be announced. It's being worked out. We're not sure where it's going to be yet. TBD on the location, but 9 a.m. June 24th. It's a Saturday. You're going to have to bring an ID, and there's 2 tickets per household, not per residence address, not per person. So if you want to beat your little brother there, I assume you better get there early.
Gotcha.
This is breaking.
So Kevin,
Yes.
so if I send Patrick to, we always said it was going to be Civic Center. So let's just say, but we don't know where it's going to be.
Patrick's a young, smart kid, entrepreneurial.
he
He wants
goes-
to beat Chase there.
He gets there first thing in the morning. He gets his 2 tickets. Chase shows up later.
Well,
that
you know, he
afternoon.
sleeps in a little bit, right?
Chase shows up, and Patrick's already got tickets.
And
Sorry,
Chase is like, Patrick.
right?
And Patrick's like, hey, man, I could sell them to you for $100 each.
That's right. Or Patrick could put them on StubHub.
Or he can go.
Ticketmaster. Patrick could go himself, right? The GA section is going to be behind the gold section. So
That's it.
for those that know the layout of the festival, the GA section will be like the hill, okay? The grass that you're going to be in the back
grass
area,
and the hill.
which is a great vision. You're still going to see a great concert. You're still going to have great vision, great visuals, but that's where the $60 tickets are going to be.
Yeah,
So-
and the gold section, I guess you could is going to be like kind of the usual VIP experience, like in the VIP experience area. So that's where it's going to be. Go and check it out. By the way, festivalofthelakes.com is where you need to go for all your fest information. And remember, parking's not included, so you have to buy parking separately.
I
that.
think the free tickets, you're going to have people, wherever it is, let's say at the Civic Center, you're going to have them lined up the night before.
I agree.
You're going to
I
have
hope
tents
so.
out there. Yeah.
I hope so.
It's going to be a party. June 24th, 9 a.m. Location TBD. Stay
Okay,
tuned.
we'll be more. So general admissions on sale now. Free ticket giveaways on June 24th. We got to do our ads because we're coming up right after this with mayor of the capital city of the state of Indiana, a huge fan of LOCPod, one of the biggest mayors in the United States. I think Indianapolis is like in top 10. Top
10,
10,
11, 12, something like that.
I mean, seriously.
He'll
one
know.
One of the top mayors in the United States of America, a fan of the show.
Right here.
Mayor Joe Hogsett is going to be on right after we get done with that. So let's go ahead and start with Rogers Roofing. When you want the best for your home and family, trust the best in the business, Rogers Roofing. Rogers Roofing has transformed homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland for more than 54 years, providing quality roofing, siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the best warranties in the industry. To learn more and to schedule your free consultation, visit rogersroofing.com or call 219-933-9145 today. That's 219-933-9145. That's Rogers Roofing. And remember, at Rogers Roofing, excellence is expected every time.
Ku Klux Law. Are you facing legal challenges and you don't know where to turn? Look no further than Ku Klux Law, your trusted source for legal advice in Indiana and Illinois. Do you need representation buying or selling real estate? Call Ku Klux Law.
Ghostbusters!
Do you need help forming your business? Call Ku Klux Law. Do you get injured? Have you been injured in a car crash or at your job? Call Ku Klux Law. No matter what your legal issue is, call Ku Klux Law, 219-671-6347 for a free consultation. Hablamos Español.
Okay. Kevin, I need you to go find out what's going on.
All right,
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna do that.
I'm gonna do the rest of the ads.
I could do some ads
John,
too, Tom.
why don't you do misprint printing, John?
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
All right, Misprint Printing. Misprint specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and under budget. Misprint's experience and technology allows them to offer custom, commercial, on-demand printing and sign solutions. Rick Baltenberger and his team have served Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana for over 30 years. They have 2 convenient locations to serve you in Munster and Hammond.
Dude, if you did ads, we'd be here till 9:45 every morning.
Well, I'm just trying to delay a little bit.
I know
to
we
get
are.
Hogsett
I don't know if anybody knows. We're sort of scrambling in the studio right now. I got Kevin and Jill running all over the studio. So
Let me read you a poem from Yeats.
Prestmer Insurance Agency. The Ron J. Prestmer Insurance Agency has been located for decades. Oh, wrong time. Right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. They specialize in a wide variety of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. The Prestmer Agency serves over 1,000 people and businesses in all Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron, Ronnie, or Michael at 219-844-0103.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard in Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon, popular red and white label at your local grocery store, and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise. This says to cue the song.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
Okay, we're experiencing a delay in our main guest right now, which is not unprecedented, especially when he's driving in from the capital city of our state. So I do want to continue to talk a little bit about the Lil Wayne concert and the Festival of Lakes lineup. So this is the first time. Oh, wow. Okay. So.
All right.
Huh? You want to?
Yeah, I could call him on Skype. We could also talk about like Santos indictment. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. Trump
Santos
town hall,
verdict?
The
Well,
CNN.
he's coming in, right?
He said he would, yeah.
Okay, have him come in. All right.
The
So-
CNN town hall. I mean, there's a million things to talk
That
about.
is great. Okay, by the way, okay, so stay with us, everybody. Mayor Joe is running a little late. He is coming in from Indianapolis, so stick with us. It may not be the normal full-size interview we can give you, but the thing about the Lil Wayne concert and the thing about the Festival of Lakes. So Wednesday, July 12th, we have Ja Rule and Ashanti. It's a free show. You could still buy. Kevin keeps leaving that door open. He walks out of the studio, leaves the door open, starts yelling.
He's like, "Where the F is Hogsett?"
So Ja Rule and Ashanti, the VIP experience is $125 for that show. You don't have to buy that, but it gets you close to the stage. July 13th, Thursday, Brothers Osborne is the country night. Obviously, a free show also. If you want to pay to get close, pay $120. How much is it? It's not $125, is it?
No, it's $100.
$100 for the
Correct,
VIP
Jill?
experience.
It's an excellent question.
How much
Oh.
is VIP experience ticket for the regular
Hold
show?
I
on,
think
we'll
we'd
go on
know
the
this.
How
website.
much?
I got the website. pulled up.
75. Kevin just said 75.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Kevin, why don't you open the door again?
Kevin walks out of the studio every time, leaves the door open, starts screaming in the hallway. And
Sorry, I'm trying to manage our.
I know
It's not easy to be, the co-host and
Where's
the
Kellogg?
the caboose, and managing our
Yeah,
guests.
right.
Where's Steve?
July 14th is Friday. That's Stone Temple Pilots. By the way, all my Navy buddies, a lot of them are coming in
For that show. That's going to be a great show, by the way.
They're coming in for the whole thing. Actually, there's tons of people coming in for Wednesday too.
I-
I don't know much about Brothers Osborne.
I'll tell
but
you this: Ja Rule and Ashanti are going to be, or it's Ja Rule. I think I got to make sure I get that right.
Ja.
Ja Rule.
Ja
Quit making
Rule.
it fancy, Kevin.
I am. I see that.
Ja
but
Rule.
Great,
I roll
great
the R. Is that
response
cool?
for that
Ja Rule.
show.
Jarul.
But
Say
they
it
have
that
the
way, too.
most ticket sales, right?
They're
you have to
rolling.
roll the R when
They're
you
rolling.
say it. Ja
You know,
Rule.
as a guy that took French, I'm not good at my rolling R's.
Really?
How do you say Ja Rule?
Ja Rule.
Rule.
I know how to roll my tongue, baby.
Much better.
That is not the title of the show. It's Joe
I know
Hogsett.
how to
We
roll
can't
my
say
tongue, baby.
LOCPod season 9, episode 7. I know how to roll my tongue with Joe Hogsett. That is not the title. Okay, I'm just making it clear. Okay. So Friday, July 14th, we had Stone Temple Pilots.
Did you mention Brothers Osborne?
Yes, I mentioned
that. Is going to be a good show too. It's going to be outstanding. And I think, by the way, second year in a row that you've had country.
Right.
You took a break from country. We used to have country, and now you've come back to country.
No, it's third, right?
Is it?
We had Old Dominion 3 years ago.
Last year.
I thought that was last year.
No, last year was you're right. Darius Rucker. Good call, Jill.
Good call, Jill.
Damn.
Look at I got beat up by all the country fans. That's why. Sunday, July 16th, El Flaco, which is Eileen's favorite.
Eileen is
artist.
pumped.
I know. I hope this is a big night because this
She's
is
a
her
fan.
night. I always put a little pressure on the person that picks that night. Because
I
picked Stone,
on Brothers Osborne, you're Phil.
Right. I picked Stone Temple Pilots. We all know where we are. Ja Rule and Ashanti. Whose night is that?
I don't know.
Jill's been pushing that one.
Me.
I've been pushing that one for a couple.
John, you weren't pushing Ja
I'm
Rule.
really looking forward. No, I'm serious. I'm really looking forward.
I was
That's
pushing
gonna
Ashanti.
be maybe the best night.
Ja Rule.
I think, you know what I would say about this is it's going to be a great opening night. Like, that's going to be a great crowd.
Yeah.
It's going to be a cool concert.
It'll be a young
I've started
crowd.
listening to Ashanti and kind of following her, so I'm into Ashanti.
Yeah.
Also known
Yeah.
as stalking.
And she's
No, I'm not stalking.
She's smoking hot.
I'm looking forward to, like,
Yeah. I'm looking
waving
forward
at
to
her
meeting her
and
too. Yeah.
Seeing her,
having her,
just
seeing her and
Yeah.
having those guys sing Mesmerized, my new
Warple, if you're
my new
listening,
song.
Kevin would like to meet her. the gatekeeper. Warple.
Yeah, Warple.
Yeah.
Don't say that. He's going to get like 1,000 texts right now.
Okay. Hey, let's talk about that Trump town hall the other day. I thought, first off, I'm glad CNN did it.
I thought it was irresponsible.
Of who? CNN?
Why?
Or Trump?
I think it's good
CNN
that
or
it's
the
not
host.
like CNN, CNBC hate Trump, Fox News hates Biden. I hate that shit. Like, I like the old-fashioned news where they were down the middle. That's why I like CNN doing this. He is the devil is for most of us in the party, and they put him on CNN because he's a candidate for president, Kevin.
They did that.
You don't
did
like
that.
it, though.
I mean, whatever. It is what it is. I mean, if that's the case, then they should let Joe Biden go on Fox.
Yeah.
Are they
I think
doing
he
that with
would,
the other
for sure.
candidates?
Yeah.
I think Joe Biden would go on Fox. Pete Buttigieg goes on Fox.
Oh yeah, he shreds them.
I agree.
Which I enjoy.
I agree. By the way, I don't
By
think
the way,
that was,
Fox is a lot better without Tucker Carlson. I'm just.
I
going
agree
on
with you,
record.
but I don't
Come
really
on.
watch it. But let me tell you something. I think Trump looked like an asshole on CNN. I think that reinforces how much I hate the guy. And
You
how
know
dangerous
that
he is.
part of it, I agree with.
I
It's
think
like,
he was as bad as he's ever been.
It
that night.
reminded me of all of what I don't miss with him being gone. It was like, it's like it was so almost like stressful to watch him and say all that shit. I was like, oh
He
my
is
god,
stressful.
I'm so glad the guy is gone.
He was characterizing the Capitol insurrection as just a normal day at the
How about
Capitol.
the fact saying that he was going to pardon most of the people
The
that have been
Capitol
convicted?
rioters, right?
Great
These
idea.
are criminals. I'm
Great
going to
idea.
pardon. And by the way, like if they're found, that is so reckless. Like to have a president of the United States talking away, he couldn't take a position on Ukraine and Russia.
Couldn't
Like,
take a
who the
position on abortion.
Like honestly, I think if you polled America on that issue,
Yeah.
I think America is probably in the 90th percentile on whether or not we should support Ukraine or Putin. But the guy running for United States president can't even say that out loud.
That alone, I
That's
think,
what I'm
is
saying.
reckless.
You don't think that was a good thing? I think it's so bad.
now
for
that
him.
you've pointed that out, I actually agree with you. Having him on there and letting us all remember how bad and scary he is.
He was as bad as ever.
Was
that day.
good.
He was as bad as ever.
Yeah, and I think that even I was listening. The thing about Ukraine just is insane to me, where he would not come down and say we need to support Ukraine. I have listened to.
Did he say that? I thought he
Yes,
said
He
He
said,
did
"I
say
don't
that.
want. I'm sick of anyone dying. I want the
Yeah,
dying
he
to stop."
refused to say Putin was a war criminal.
That's what I'm saying, John. The guy's running for president. I spent 6 years of my life chasing Russians.
I know, but Kevin said he said he wouldn't support you.
But he couldn't say the words. He was being asked it would have been so easy to say yes. We want to support the Ukrainian people. I want to hear.
We need to support Western Europe. We need to
Right.
make sure the Ukraine.
He was critical of NATO again.
Yeah.
He was critical of all of Europe. It's like this guy is not good for the world. He's not good for the country. He's a piece of garbage, man. Like we can't let that guy anywhere near the White House.
Yeah, John. To me, what I meant by that comment that I made was, it's a very easy answer.
Yes.
And I've really enjoyed seeing a lot of the foreign policy folks in the Senate, both Republican and Democrat, come together on this issue because it reminds me of how important foreign policy is, and I'd love to be a student of foreign policy, and this issue is so black and white, John. And what I meant by him not saying anything is like he should be saying, like, we need to make sure the Ukrainians are supported against Russia. Maybe he could say, like, I'm not sure we should be the ones paying the 98% of the bill, and that's a whole other issue.
I think it's fair
but I
to say that.
Yes,
but he's not good for our alliance, dude. He's not.
It's scary.
He's not good for our alliance.
What he said was, by calling Putin a war criminal now,
right,
it's going to make it a lot tougher to get this war over with.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
Dying.
Can't we be brave? The president can't be brave?
I'm not saying
John,
your position's
I was
wrong,
looking at
Tom.
the other day, right in Kiev, there's this huge apartment complex where innocent people were sleeping, and the freaking Putin and his army put a freaking missile right into that building. And we can't call that war crime? He's not going after soldiers. He's going after little girls and moms and dads, dude. I think the president of the United States could call that a war crime. I want my president to call that a war crime because Putin is a monster.
Well, and even in the early parts of the war,
Sorry,
where
John.
we've had people come, they've had people come in, international observers come in and document mass graves and everything. And I'm not saying, whether it's directed by Putin or not, he's the head of the Russian army. He has to take responsibility when bad shit happens because of his army. He's got this mercenary force over there with prisoners. Mm-hmm. Like running,
They're
like
just
think
getting
about
killed.
that.
They're just
was
getting,
it the,
well, now
the
there's
Workman group. Or
Yeah,
Warner
I
group?
love how they
Warner
have like
group.
an
Wagner-
English
Wagner group.
Wagner group, right? And John, it's interesting how like that the leader of that group now is bitching about the defense minister, like it's
Right.
infighting, and
Not
that's
getting
never
any
a good
ammo.
sign.
no,
blah, blah, blah.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. And he's sending soldiers that are basically right out of the prisons to their deaths by
Well,
the hundreds.
I
They're
don't
just
think-
getting slaughtered. He's just sending them on death missions, basically.
Putin had no idea that Ukraine was going to be like this.
Well,
I think there's no way.
now-
Neither did I. I mean, even early on, I was like, they're going to roll them, and I was.
But now Ukraine's
Whoa.
got even more advanced with. They had, I think, Russia launched 19 missiles against Kiev the other day, and only 2 got through because they're
Wow.
using our Patriot defense system.
By the way, what a great field test for our weaponry. I mean, not that I wish it on anybody. That here you go,
Right.
you're in the middle of a war. Here's our weapons, but
Try these out.
It sure is a nice confirmation that our weapon systems are, are good.
I didn't mean to jump John's ass earlier, but honestly, John, you rail about wokeness, you rail about political correctness. We can't have our president be critical of Vladimir Putin because I want to hear that. I want a president, and I'm not talking, and I'm not happy that Joe Biden's running for a re-election. Okay, but he treats Putin exactly the way the president should treat him. He should.
Well, and I
be
think
critical of that type of behavior.
I saw
in my opinion.
your opponent in the Senate, Todd Young, yesterday came out and said, "I'm not supporting Trump
proud of him. I'm proud of him.
for president," and he even said that one of the reasons was where he's at on Ukraine.
I agree. Todd Young is a badass like that. He is. He. By the way, I ran against a guy. He beat me. Todd Young never asked for help from Donald Trump the whole race, and I tell you,
he didn't get it. He was one of 4 senators
That's right.
that were not endorsed by Trump.
And now Todd Young is on the record extremely critical of Donald Trump, saying things like he doesn't think he's going to be the nominee. He thinks he's got, he's legally in trouble. I think that's pretty badass. For
I think
Republican.
a lot. I thought Chris Christie again go after him the other day, and even DeSantis was kind of just dismissive when the verdict came down in that Manhattan courtroom. When even they were all kind of like, Chris Christie was extremely critical of him. I thought Asa Hutchinson was too, and DeSantis and Pence just kind of like, hey, we got better things to talk about.
Let me ask you a question, John.
Yep.
DeSantis stock is extremely
Meatball.
far down, right?
Yeah. Meatball.
Right.
Yeah.
I do like that nickname by Trump.
But honestly, I think the Disney thing is not helping him at all.
It's interesting, right? I think around America, people love Disney.
Yeah.
And you're
he's
running a
the
national
monster.
race. It may be one thing in Florida, like, yeah, you know what? Maybe the governor's
think
right.
people
We
in Florida
shouldn't be.
like Disney,
I'm
too.
sure they do, but you could see how you could make a business argument
Right.
within the state.
Right.
But when you're talking about families who travel to see the magical kingdom from everywhere around the country, I mean, you're saying this guy's trying to cut down Disney.
If I was Disney, I would start playing games putting committees together to talk about if it's feasible to start shutting down the Magic Kingdom and stuff like that, and relocating to Texas or something like that. If they had serious efforts going on, that probably isn't going to result in anything, but it's more a PR move.
Yeah, and I think
you're meeting and talking about what would we shut down. We'd shut down the Magic Kingdom first, and then we'd shut down this one next. And
don't shut down
that
Space Mountain.
That would start rippling through Florida, and DeSantis would have a PR nightmare.
Yeah,
it's why wouldn't we leave? This guy is literally aiming at us, trying to get us to leave. Congratulations.
And they've got a badass CEO that is like ready to fight.
I would start doing that. I'd be like, you know what? You win. We're going to stay in California. And we're going to open a new Magic Kingdom in Austin, Texas. We're going to get out of Orlando. You win, Florida. We're going to move out. You know, like
wow, that'd be something. Hopefully they don't because
I agree,
nice
but
place,
I'm talking about a PR move, Kevin.
Yeah.
I'm talking about putting pressure on DeSantis.
John, do you think Disney's having an impact on him?
For sure. DeSantis hasn't even announced yet, and he's done. Wow. There's no way he's going to be the
after
nominee.
his world tour.
I agree with you.
I think short of Trump going to prison, Trump's going to be the nominee.
Wow.
I do. After the
Is that just because of the primary, John? Just because?
No, guys, I couldn't actually disagree with you more on your observation of the CNN town hall. I thought it was Trump's best showing in a long, long time.
Well, it was a Republican audience. They let him stack the audience. He did, which is fine.
You mean John? Just like you thought he did well?
I thought so. When you compare it to like his announcement speech,
which was
for
terrible.
2024,
right.
Boring, low energy. This was like the old Trump, man.
Oh, it was definitely
like him or hate him.
It was definitely the old.
It
Trump.
was the old Trump,
no doubt.
I agree with that.
And I think
he was calling her a nasty woman.
Oh,
I thought
she was incredibly disrespectful. By the way, it wasn't even a town hall. It was like the town hall is supposed to be for the public.
She was
to ask
correcting
questions.
him. She was correcting him. He was
like,
lying, and she would correct him. I thought she did great.
God.
How could we see some things so different in America? Like I thought she did an excellent job.
Terrible.
I thought she was an excellent moderator.
Disrespectful. But
this is like he lies constantly. She was correcting him. That's what he didn't like.
I think she was lying a lot too.
Oh my God, John.
The facts hurt.
I love when he pulled out his tweets from January 6th because he knew she was going to bring this shit up. And he threw it in her face like, here's what actually happened.
And then she also threw it in his face. That was like hours after the damage was done.
Dude,
all true.
Nobody wants to hear these facts, right? That was sent like 7 hours later, Mr. President, and he was like, you're a nasty woman.
I was listening. Yeah.
He did.
Oh
it's like...
I listened to a little bit of a legal analysis on it, and like they were kind of trying to debate whether or not he got himself in like more deep water with some of the things. I think he contradicted what his lawyers are saying about the confidential documents, who they've said they inadvertently showed up in Florida, like they were there just as like kind of like moving boxes.
But again,
and he said,
"Yeah, go ahead."
John, I'll let you comment right after this. And what he said on the show was, I had every right to bring him there, so that.
Yeah,
they were trying to say whether that was contradictory.
That was weird to hear.
Yeah, so John,
I could do whatever I want, but Mike Pence couldn't, and
right.
and neither could the Senator, Vice President Biden, and all these guys have problems, but I don't because I was the
president,
right?
But again, that's CNN. This woman pushing these are not questions from the audience. No, seriously. So a lot of the criticism about this town hall was, Trump right away. He's talking about the 2020 election fraud. CNN brought that up. He didn't bring it up. She brought it up.
Well,
it's like if you want him to let it go,
did you win or lose? He couldn't say it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course they're going to bring it up, but I mean,
but why? All they say is he won't let it go. They're not letting it go.
Well, the meat is in how he interprets it, and he still wants to talk about the fact that he believes he won the eletion, which is a joke.
Yeah,
personally.
I mean, maybe
that's how I
maybe
feel.
not.
Oh, okay. Here we go. We're taking a right turn.
Where's Hogsett?
Yeah, no kidding.
Is he here yet?
By the they're on 8094 cruising.
Oh, perfect.
Fast. Blake
Cruising
City's
fast?
moving very fast.
Okay.
At least there's no train crossings on 8094.
So, Joe, what's going on in your life?
Tell us. I see you
Do you know how
typing
to
away
sing?
over there.
Am I what?
Do you know how to sing?
Do I know how to sing? Like, am I a trained
Did you post the $60 GA?
I did.
I know you were typing away over
Oh,
there.
yeah? So let me ask you a question about Lil Wayne. What sells out first, the front section or the back section?
Back.
Oh, front.
Isn't that funny?
Mm-hmm.
I think the back's also.
Back.
You know why I say front? Because
Joe.
the front only has limited amount of space, and it's getting there. Front section is going to sell.
We can move this.
Not that much,
too.
though. I mean, you can just sell a little bit, but you still got to fit everybody in.
Are you factoring in sponsors as that total, or are you
good
factoring
point.
in
Fair enough,
actual
fair enough.
Sponsors
paid
count in the
enough.
front
tickets?
section. You're right.
Yes.
Sponsors are in the front section.
All right,
in their
Joe
own
says
section.
back. I'm saying front because
I
we
say
have
back
such a
too.
head start.
I have. They do have a head start,
Mhm.
but like $60 is less than half the price.
It is.
Right.
So are you worried that now, as mayor of the and chairman of the festival, are you worried that now that the $60 tickets are on sale, that the 125s won't sell? I agree with you.
Yeah, I think it's a great balance. There's only going to be 2 sections. The free tickets we give are in the back section, so you're getting GA tickets basically. The back tickets are what, silver level we call it?
No, it's just GA and
GA.
gold. Yeah.
The GA, so we're handing out, for the free ones, we're handing out GA tickets.
Yeah, so just to be clear, right? And this was, by the way, kudos to the mayor, because internally we were having this discussion. The mayor figured it out in like two minutes. But there's only 2 sections. If you get a free GA ticket, you're in the same section as the $60 GA. That's all one GA section.
Right.
And it goes from the end of the gold section all the way up the hill.
Right.
And Jill still thinks that's going to sell out first. But okay.
I do too. I think Jill's right.
Let's put some...
Because to see Lil Wayne for
$1.
$60 is
$1?
to see Lil Wayne
nut
for
roll.
$60 is
Just
it's
gonna
way
say
cheap. 1/3 of the price that he was selling for tickets in Chicago.
1/4 in some instances.
And we're giving
yeah.
2,000 away for free. That counts towards Jill's sellout figure too.
Agree.
By the way,
Yeah.
And
So
these
even
are-
though
yeah.
we've sold more than 2,000 in the front section already, so it's about an even race. What's
Yep.
going to sell out first?
It's going to be fun. All we do know, it's going to sell out.
We have hard numbers though, right? Like what if 10,000 people try to buy $60 tickets today? You can't sell that many, right?
Can't sell that many.
Good. So you
Yes.
guys have a cap.
It will
on there.
sell out. Just
I'm
like
asking you like in real time. Like
Yes.
I don't know the answer to the
There is a
question. I'm
cap.
asking you.
Mhm.
Good. Okay.
We'll
On the
take care of
front and
that.
the back, right?
Correct, front and back.
Right.
So, by the way, the message here is get your Lil Wayne tickets now. FestivalDeLakes.com.
Anybody that waits until the last, if you're like, dude, they're going to be giving away free ones, you're wrong. On Saturday night, you're wrong. Okay. I wouldn't say that for any of the other shows that we're putting on. Saturday night is going to be sold out.
There will not be like day of tickets
Nope.
for sale on
Nope.
site. There will
Nope.
not be like here, come on in for free day
Nope.
of. No, it's not
Nope.
going to happen.
Not on that day.
No.
And someone in chat just asked, when does the sale start? Now.
Yes,
They're
it's on
sale
now.
So you
They're
could
on
buy
sale
every
now.
ticket to this show. The only thing that isn't available is the freebies that we're giving out.
Correct.
Which
June
will be
24th.
2,000 freebies we're giving out. That's June 24th. Okay.
I think we should make like Hammond residents do something to earn do a magic trick, like earn these tickets.
Play a song.
Oh no.
Yeah, do
I mean, I
something.
think being in Hammond is they've earned it enough. They're ready. They're in. Let's talk about George Santos, John.
By the way,
What happened there?
nothing.
I'm catching
nothing.
up on this.
One thing,
Pleads not guilty, says he won't resign.
I don't think that little press conference he had is going to help him at
that
all.
didn't help.
He's
'Cause,
a
like, there's-
mess.
He is a freaking mess.
He is. That's the best way to put him, Jill. He is a mess.
I didn't watch it. Was it crazy?
Crazy. First of all, I think they must have thought he was coming out a different door because like he walked out some door and like all the press like sprinted and falling over themselves to get to him. It was
Wow.
So that was funny, I thought. And then
Look who's in town.
Just when we we're getting into George Santos.
Wow.
What's up, Mr. Mayor?
Sorry I'm late.
We
Oh,
love you.
no,
we
we-
love you. If
we
you weren't
held.
a fan, we would have killed the show a long time ago. Nice to see you, Mayor. Yeah. Congratulations,
Mayor.
Pull up, Mr. Mayor.
Oh
like
my.
that.
Oh my.
You know the drill.
I have an excuse for being late.
Pull up so you're on TV. Right there. Right there.
I,
Right
I
there.
have an excuse for
Yeah.
being late.
Yeah.
On the way up, I stopped at Miss Pip Printing and
Yeah.
placed an order with Rick, so that
You just
We're gonna double Miss
we-
Pitt's
we
bill.
had
That's
a,
right.
we had a printing order that I wanted to put in, so I just
Post-primary,
stopped,
just getting ready?
They're really good, Mayor.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I'm so late.
No,
but,
we're
I want to
happy
be
you're
here
here.
in person. I'm glad to
Thank
be
you.
here.
Thanks for being here. Congratulations on your primary.
Thank you.
take a deep
Yeah.
breath.
Thank
You're
you.
good.
Yeah,
Hey, pull
yeah.
that microphone up.
And
Here's
by the way, here's your first Indianapolis quiz question of the day.
Yeah.
What ranking is Indianapolis in population in the U.S.? Where
I
are
think
you?
15th.
Is it? I thought it
think
was
we're
10
the
for some reason.
15th.
Were you?
Well, we have been surpassed by a couple of cities that have been experiencing, down in the Southwest particularly, extraordinary growth.
Yeah.
But we're still the 15th largest city in the country, so we're very proud of that. And we continue to gain residents, just
Mayor.
not at the same rate that some other, as I said, southwestern,
we
southern
have Mother
cities.
Nature working against us.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
right.
just a little warmer and
You know what?
drier down there.
I've been going to Indianapolis for 20 years, and over the last few years, I've really noticed one change that I love is a lot more condos are under construction downtown.
Yeah.
Which I love downtown. That's if Marissa and I ever end up moving to Indianapolis, I'm going to live downtown because it's just so vibrant, and you can get
Construction
everything
everywhere.
You can get everything in
way.
downtown Indianapolis that you can get in the city of Chicago, which is what I love about Indy.
You know, we used to say for every neighborhood, we want to be able to live, work, and play. And clearly, prior to the pandemic, we had 220,000 people every day that would commute in from counties contiguous to Marion to jobs downtown. Well, with the pandemic and the effects of the pandemic, a lot of those people are working remotely.
Mm-hmm.
So we are now emphasizing, we're still emphasizing play, with the Indianapolis 500, March Madness tournament, the National Collegiate Football Championship, the NBA All-Star Game coming to Indianapolis. So we're still playing. We're still working, although it's a different kind of atmosphere for work. So Indianapolis is now emphasizing living.
Well, here's what
living downtown.
Mayor, I saw this in the Indy Star, said reported in January that downtown will get at least 18 new projects totaling almost $3.6 billion in investment and $461 million in city financing with TIF.
Yeah, that's true, Kevin. And the residential, it's just exploding. And our occupancy rates are still very high. But the truth is, over the next 4 or 5 years, when you take into consideration not only residential but commercial investment, Indianapolis is poised to see anywhere between 8 to 9 billion. Wow. That's billion with a B. In investment over the next 4 or 5 years, which amazing. Makes it very exciting.
I mean, I think it's, having both mayors here, you guys are obviously both very experienced mayors, and you both have used TIF. Well, I mean, Mayor, you just gave a speech. Mayor Tom, you just gave a speech
Every
recently.
chance I get, Mayor, when I'm talking to legislators, I talk to them about how vital it is for Mayor to have TIF, because it's under attack all the time, which is crazy to me. Can you imagine doing your job without TIF?
Yeah, the General Assembly always seems to have something to say about that. But you're absolutely right, Mayor. Without TIF, you wouldn't be able to expand exponentially as Indianapolis has done economically. The growth that we've enjoyed, I see it continuing in the future. And now that we're kind of beyond the emergency aspects of the pandemic, I just think you're going to see continued growth throughout the entire central Indiana region.
A lot of times I'm competing where I live, and this doesn't go so much for you in the middle of the state, but where I live, I'm competing against companies that are deciding between Illinois and Indiana, and mayors in Illinois have a lot more powers than mayors of Indiana do because their legislature gives them a lot more power. So for me to be able to compete with these mayors that are willing to use sales tax financing and things that aren't available to us without TIF, I wouldn't be able to land these great companies that we have moving to Indiana right now.
Well, you're absolutely right, Mayor, in the sense that there's one thing that our legislature jealously guards against, and that's much of home rule. Mm-hmm. That cities like Hammond and cities like Indianapolis, I think, would prosper even more so than we already are if we were able to have a greater say in what direction our city should take.
Well, this is, just in the Indy Star this morning, Mayor, I was flabbergasted to read about this fight that the city county council is having because of a state law that was passed about turning right on red.
Right.
You want to talk about super legislating. They're saying there was a law that was passed that said, John, this is crazy, in the legislature by, I think it was led by now who's a city county councilor, a Republican who used to be in the state Senate, who has now said that the city of Indianapolis can't increase the amount of turn on red signs.
Yeah, and that's and that's frankly, this initiative is in keeping with an unfortunate number of pedestrian and cycling related accidents. Because particularly when you get down to the more densely populated urban area of the city, people are always in a hurry.
Well, and they're on scooters. They're on bikes.
Well, you could have a lot of multimodal transportation that is vulnerable by a driver who's in a hurry, who knows that they can turn right on red, so they do so without really regard to, okay, who's coming up on their left side, who's coming up on their right side. And so the purpose of the ban and the ban as it was originally proposed would only apply to the mile square. You're not talking about keeping people from turning right on red anywhere in Indianapolis.
Right.
It's just in the mile square.
And who would know best than the mayor and the city county council versus the state legislature?
Right.
Yeah.
It's
micromanaging.
It's unfortunate. Yeah. It's really unfortunate.
Well, you get it doubly bad because you're the mayor, obviously in charge of the city, but you also happen to have the legislature and the governor and the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeals all in the same city as you. So you see in some red states, like we live in, Mayor, you see some legislatures that are trying to take over the capital city, I think there's in Mississippi.
Yeah,
right
we saw
now,
in
right?
Mississippi. Yeah.
Do you ever worry about? I know that's never happened in Indiana, but I'm sure you're always on guard for stuff like that, right?
Well, I must say that during my tenure as mayor, we have had a lot of legislative initiatives that have been considered. Fortunately, very, very few have ultimately passed.
Wasn't the police department
they
once?
wanted
The city transit?
They wanted to take over the police department several years
Remember
ago,
that, Mayor? Yeah.
give it to the governor, and of course, my response was, why on earth would Eric Holcomb want to be held responsible for the gun violence that occurs in the city of Indianapolis? And, of course, that died a fairly quick death. But it is emblematic of the frustration that the city has with some of the initiatives that we have to fight every single year in the legislature.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost the opposite. Mayor Tom brought up, like, we don't, as mayors and as cities, we want more control over what's going on. It's basically it's going the other way, where they want more control from the legislature over the cities.
Well, and frankly, Kevin, in the last program that I listened to, which was the last program that you had,
That's why we love
I was very interested in the conversation you all were having about some gun safety measures that the city of Hammond is taking or are taking.
Thank you.
And so, I'd like to learn from you all some of the ideas in a little bit more specific detail about what you're doing here in Hammond, because we may be open to doing the same type of thing in the city of Indianapolis, knowing full well that the legislature did pass several years back a regulatory preemptory statute that said local units of government can do no more gun safety related regulation
or restrictions
than what is permitted by the Indiana General Assembly.
But we could sue them civilly.
That's right. No, I thought that in the last show, Tom, you weren't here, but
I hate that you liked the last show.
well,
I wasn't here.
We love it, John.
it has nothing to do
How
with
about
you
that,
not
John?
being here.
I liked it especially because
But Doc was in the house.
Doc was
Doc was in the
zone.
house talking about San Francisco and his trip out there.
Yeah,
and then that then moved into some of the initiatives you all are considering, and I was listening with bated breath, to try to steal some of the good ideas you all are coming up with.
Can I ask you a question, Mayor? Kevin, I know where Kevin.
Yeah.
I know how Kevin thinks. We looked at each other and winked, so I know what he was going to ask. Tell me if I'm right, Kevin.
You're right already.
When you visit places like California and you see what's going on in the big cities out west, does it make you nervous? Because you don't have that problem, thankfully, in the capital city. But I stayed at a nice place in San Diego, Mayor, and I had a little city right outside of my hotel, which a city of people just living on the sidewalk, which shocked me.
Yeah, I got to say this, Mayor. People in Indiana have no idea how bad the unsheltered populations are in those cities where the climate is more conducive.
It's so bad.
San Diego is a good example. I was not out there a couple of years ago. I'd get up at 6 a.m. for a morning walk, and it was very difficult to walk in the streets because the climate was so temperate, and you had so many homeless folks just sleeping on the sidewalks. You literally had to avoid them as you walked down the street. Same way with San Francisco, same way with Los Angeles, same way with so many cities out there.
So, Mayor, even though we don't have the temperature here, obviously every big city has to deal with unsheltered folks and homeless people, and that are there because of mental illness, that are there because of unfortunate circumstances, or that are there sometimes by choice. How as a mayor of a big city do you handle that, and how do you address the issue?
Well, and that's one good thing that I can report about the Indiana General Assembly. This year, the General Assembly passed a $20 million appropriation that will enable the city of Indianapolis to partner very closely with the state to create what I think will be transformative in the form of a low-barrier shelter to serve not only those who are unsheltered in a temporary but emergency sort of way, but also extend it to a long-term program that ultimately, as the city of Indianapolis tries to do, provide a housing-first strategy that will give people permanent, supportive housing. Not just housing in a temporary way, but permanent housing with wraparound social services to keep them housed. Because it's one thing to come up with a housing unit that someone might be able to temporarily occupy, but if there are rules and regulations that surround that availability of housing, so many people will say, now we want to go back out on the streets and live the way we want to live. You give them the kind of supportive services that they need to get the jobs that they need, to get the transportation to and from the jobs that they need, to help them with maybe some of the debt that they have incurred if they've been incarcerated because they haven't been able to make payments on their child support. There's a whole host of different reasons why people who would otherwise enjoy a housing unit in which to live, but choose not to live there because of other problems.
Well, let's talk about your election a little bit.
Yeah.
Mayor, you want to go there?
I thought you did an excellent job in this last race, Mayor, because, you know, obviously in November you have a self-funded opponent, right? Which is, it's not scary because you're the mayor. And you're a great mayor, and you live in a Democratic area, and but obviously you're paying attention to what's going on in November, and you had a great challenger running against you in the primary. That's one of the leading African American women in the state of Indiana. So you had to try to find line. You didn't want to burn bridges with a great opponent in the primary that may hinder you in November when we have to focus as well. And I thought you threaded that needle perfectly, Mayor.
Well, to her credit, State Representative Robin Shackelford, who was my primary
There you go.
opponent. I actually, because we've done away with the slating process in Marion County, we actually
the first mayor that
not
did
only
that.
encouraged more people to stand for election, but it actually spiked our turnout in this year's primary, which is, I think, a good thing. But the one thing I can say about Robin's candidacy is very early on election night when the totals were coming in, my phone rang, and it was Robin Shackelford wishing me good luck in the general election.
That's class.
And we both agreed that while we had served as competitors with one another on that particular election day, when we both awakened the next morning, we were going to be unified.
That's awesome.
In pursuing victory in November.
And I saw in her concession speech, she even said that she'll do whatever she can to ensure the Democratic Party comes together for the general
class.
election.
That's what you want. You want people to compete vigorously, and to compete fairly. But then once the votes have been cast and the winners declared, come together as a political party and focus on the November election. And that's what we're going to be doing.
So in that November election, it's interesting, right? I noticed in the primary, Democratic votes were about 28,000, or at least you got 28,000, I think, somewhere in there. You won by 20 points. He got 19,000 in his primary to win. So right there, you know that Indianapolis is a Democratic city. I noticed that even the former GOP chair said your opponent has a mountain to climb. He does have funding, right? But he was a Trump delegate in 2016. I saw initially his ads. There's a lot of negative ads about the city. And you're on the verge of trying to be the first 3-term mayor since Hudnut did it and since Unigov, right?
Yeah.
So how do you get there?
Since Unigov, Mayor Hudnut is the only mayor, and Unigov began in 1969. It's kind of the beginning of what I call the era of modern Indianapolis. He's the only mayor who has served more than 2 terms, and a third term is a challenge. It's a fundamentally different election than a first term or a second term is. And so we have some challenges ahead of us. We have a very well-funded opponent. He has served in business, and he has served a couple of terms on the city county council. He was never elected to the council, but he was caucused in on a couple of different occasions. So I take his challenge very seriously, but I think with a unified party, to your point, Kevin, turnout was up in this year's primary. I think there were a total number of about 50 to 55,000 Democratic votes cast over and against a total of maybe 25 to 30,000 Republican votes, cast. So Democrats, at least in this year's municipal primary, still maintained about a 2-to-1 majority.
That's great.
in terms of the overall number of votes cast. and we're working like the Dickens to get people to turn out this November in ways that ultimately will allow me to continue to lead the city for another 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
I'm donating $1,000 to you today, right after the show.
Wow.
From the committee to elect Tom McDermott for Mayor Joe Hogsett, because you're a great mayor. You're a great friend and a mentor, by the way. You know that.
I know that.
Good.
Former Indiana Secretary of
listen,
State, former
like, more
U.S.
importantly,
Attorney for the
this
Southern
guy,
District of Indiana.
I know he knows where I'm going to go with this. When I first became a Democrat, when I first ran for mayor, I went to Joe Hogsett's office when he was the chairman of the state of Indiana, and he helped me tremendously from the state party.
Mm-hmm.
Sent out direct mailers for me. That was all because of this man right here. And I won that race. State party had a lot to do with it. And I've been loyal to Joe ever since that day.
You know, I've said it before on the show, Tom, in credit to you and your candidacy back in
2003.
dare I say 2003. It sounds like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, it was a lifetime ago.
But the truth is, we won that year, I think, 73 mayoral races throughout the state.
Yep.
And the two biggest wins in that year were Jonathan Winesapple becoming a newly elected mayor in the city of Evansville, and Tom McDermott Jr. winning up in Hammond. Because in Hammond, with all due respect to your father, Hammond had experienced, I think, 6 or 7 consecutive Republican terms.
20 years.
2 of your father's and 3 of your 2003 opponent.
That's true.
So it had been a long
This
time.
guy knows
He knows Indiana
He's
politics.
freaking going off the top of his head.
He's lived it.
He's talking about Hammond political history
In the
off the top
80s.
of his
Back in
head.
the 80s.
Off the
Back in
top
the
of his head, by the way.
Back in the
Like
80s.
this guy, that's what you get when
That's
you're
right.
dealing with Joe
But
Hogsett.
I mean, based on that victory, look at the record you have compiled.
you're sweet.
in that
Thank you.
time.
Well, and look what the state of Indiana's got, right?
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, we've got great mayor still. Mayor Tom's still in office. You're still around. I mean, when were you Secretary of State, Joe?
I served from 1988 until 1994.
Did you ever go to Hungary when you were Secretary of State?
No, I never went to Hungary. I never went to
Our
Hungary.
Secretary of State was
I
in
never
Hungary
went
last
to
week.
Hungary.
Wait, 2 days after the election, by the way. Nothing to do around the office.
I never went to Hungary when I was Secretary of State, but I can tell you I was hungry often when I was Secretary of State.
Mr. Mayor, we're going to let you go. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for running into the studio. We love you. We support you. I'm donating to you. If you want to donate to Joe Hogsett, because obviously you're running against a self-funder, how do we give money to you, Mayor?
Yeah, just send it to Hogsett for Indianapolis Committee.
Yep.
There's a post office box.
How about the website?
The website is Hogsett for Indianapolis.com as well. And you can always call my dear friend Emily Gerwitz, who is friend of both of
We've
yours,
been friends with her since the very
as
beginning.
someone to help direct resources to our campaign.
Thank
So
you, Mayor.
I appreciate that offer.
Thanks for coming to LOCPod. Come back again.
Sorry I'm late.
Don't worry
No,
about it.
we hold for you.
The
We hold
only
for Mayor.
person truly happy this morning about my tardiness is Rick Balzenberger at Misprint
Misprint.
Printing.
Yep.
He is gonna.
who's
You
got
need
a
a
big
metal
work-
business
Here you go.
card.
Here he goes.
Yeah.
There you go.
See, we know he
This is the guy
listens to the show.
Yeah. Thanks. That's Mayor Joe Hogsett. Thanks again for coming in, sir. Jill, thanks for being in, filling in ably on a Friday again. Johnny Vez, thank you. Another great show. Kevin Chandler,
Yes,
good
sir.
job.
Yeah.
And coming from Locomotive, thanks for listening to LOCPod, Indiana's most dangerous podcast with one of our best fans and one of the best mayors in the United States. Come back next week, Tuesday, for another great show. See y'all. LOCPod's out.